Morning, guys. You know what time it is. It's time for Tactics. Hey, welcome back to the Tactics with Trav YouTube channel, where we go over games that are, a lot of them are tournament games, real over-the-board games against human beings. And a lot different when you're doing that and you're not playing online because people are very serious. They want to win. The games are much longer, game 90, increment 30. So I'm taking you back to a tournament I played in 2 weeks ago in Minnesota called the 133rd Minnesota Open. It's their largest tournament of the year. So big tournament, like 250 players there, lots of good players. And this is my 6th round game. And I got paired up with a 1726 good player. And let's just get into it. So he's playing white. I'm playing black. He plays E4. I played my Sicilian C5. And he plays A3, which is a really strange move. But I had prepped going into this tournament with pretty much all the sidelines I might see against the Sicilian. And one of those was a Sicilian wing gambit. So I figured he was probably going to push B4. I mean, that's probably why he pressed A3. But normally you'll see B4 first, and then C takes B4, and then A3. And then if B4 takes A3, then knight takes on A3. And then it's a pretty good attack, actually, for white. You end up getting the bishop going to B2. The knight reroutes to C4. And you got the open A file for the rook. So you do have to be a little bit concerned with what white might do there. But it's not really that common. You don't see it that much. But A3 was the move. E6 and B4. And with the prep I didn't take the pawn. I didn't want to get into what he knew. And so instead, I ended up playing a move that I kind of ended up regretting. So I'll show you why. So knight F6, attacking his pawn, because my prep that I had done against just straight away B4 was he presses E5, I go knight D5. And then if he attacks me again with, say, C4, I drop back to knight C7. And then I'm able to kind of chip away at what he's started with, like moves like D6, and I'll have an okay game just playing chess from there. But what ensues is actually really bad for me. So we'll get into it. So E5, he attacks it right away. Knight D5, C4, and knight C7. This is actually the proper drop back move. We don't want to go to B6. It's actually much worse. Ran it through the engine. Dropping a B6 would have been even worse. But knight C7 keeps us out of harm's way, keeps us away from white's pawns that are just going to come storming down the queen side. B takes C5. Bishop takes C5. D4. I mean, white's got a great position here, guys. Like, this is a bad move by me. This is a mistake. But in retrospect, I wish I had gone back to E7, and you'll see why. So bishop to B6 was just not a good move. Knight F3. Castles. And what you'll notice positionally, if you haven't already, is that most if not all my pieces, except for my rook here on F8, are all on the side of the board. So I'm really asking for it on the king side. Bishop to D3. And immediately I'm thinking, okay, here comes a Greek gift sacrifice. That's what he's trying to do. And so I thought about it for quite a while about what I would do if he ends up sacking his bishop on H7, because the Greek gift sacrifice goes like this. Bishop takes H7 check, king takes H7, knight to G5 check, king back to G8, queen to H5, and then I got to be really concerned about queen to H7 checkmate. And it's pretty much unstoppable if I drop back to G8. So I had a kind of a clever plan here because I was already so far behind in development, guys. Like, bishop to B6 was a bad drop back move for me, like really bad. But it's not game losing yet. I'm still in the game, and I just have to be really, really sharp about how I'm going to proceed here. So after bishop to D3, I played bishop to A5 check. And that was actually my reason for going bishop to b6, but in hindsight, which is always 2020, it was still not good. Then he goes bishop d2. I trade off the bishops. Knight b takes d2. d6 to try to attack the point, the tip of the spear of his pawn chain. E takes d6. Queen takes d6. And here it comes. Bishop takes h7 check. I looked across the board. My opponent, who's like a high school kid, very, very excited. You could tell emotionally he was just like wanting to jump out of his shoes. And I can't blame him, because if he's playing against a normal, like probably, I mean, this is a really rough guess, but 1400 rated player or lower, they're probably going to take on h7, knight g5 check, and then fall back to g8, like, and then they're going to get checkmated because queen h5, and there's nothing you can do. So, my plan was, after I take on h7, knight g5 check. Check this out: king to g6. It looks crazy. Like, it's just king g6, really. Like, I'm moving my king out in the center of the board, just bringing him out to the pasture. But it actually works. And because it cuts off the h5 square from white's queen. And then I have to defend very accurately so I don't get checkmated. And I have to almost hope, and hope chess is never good, but I almost hope that my opponent attacks improperly too, because he has to be very sharp about how he's going to move forward on his attack. And I just already made mistakes out of the opening, guys, so it just shows how critical openings are. So I took on h7. So this is my my plan: knight g5 check, king to g6. And this really took my opponent by surprise. Like, when I looked at him, he was just like, he didn't expect that. So, I mean, he thought for probably a good 30, 35 minutes on this move. And what he ended up playing was knight g to e4, which was not the right move. So what I was looking at for my opponent, if I was playing white, was knight on d2 to e4, or possibly queen to g4 right away. But either one of those moves would have been better than this, because this is not putting enough pressure on black, and it kind of lets me off the hook. So knight g to e4, yes, it attacks my queen, but I was going to go queen f4 anyway, and to protect the g4 square from white's queen. So queen to f4, and then he drops knight to g3, which is another inaccurate move in his attack that he should have had. So again, he should have done something with his other knight, gotten into the game. But I think the move prior was really the mistake that led to him not being able to properly attack me. So in chess at these levels, like, you gotta be pinpoint, or else you could end up winning and then losing. So rook h8, defending the h file, because he's looking to go queen h5 check. Knight to f3. f6. And I could breathe a little easier here, guys, because now I have the drop back square of f7, and I cut off the squares of g5 and e5 for that knight that just moved to f3. So I'm feeling like I got off the hook, and I did. So if I was playing white in that position, I would have attacked properly, most likely. But such is life. And there's games that are going to go like this, where you probably should have lost. Like, I probably, if you had just the right type of attack, I probably would have lost this game. But luck does creep into certain games, and just people's emotions getting the better of them instead of their logical side overriding that. So there's a lot to chess on the psychological side of it. Queen to d3 check. King f7. Castles kingside. Knight c6, developing a piece. Finally getting out off the back rank. d5. E takes d5. C takes d5. Knight e5. Knight takes e5. Queen takes e5. Rook a to c1. Knight takes d5. Rook f e1. So guys, I'm back in the game. Like I'm not behind anymore. So technically I'm still up material because of that sacrifice earlier. So I mean I have the advantage from here. So this is just really kind of unfortunate for white, but it just shows how you have to be precise in your attacks. Queen d6 and knight e4. So pause your videos here, guys, and calculate, because knight e4 was a mistake. What are the next 4 moves for black, all forced? All right, ready? So queen takes h2, check. King f1. Queen to h1, check. King to e2. Knight to f4, check with the fork on the king and the queen. King d2. But this is another part of the combination that we got to get right to maximize the full potential of this tactic, this tactical combination. We take on e1 first. So your in-between move. Queen takes e1, check. Rook takes e1. And then we take the queen on d3. And, you could tell, I mean, he was completely deflated at this point because he was winning and then he lost. So he made a mistake here and played knight d6 check. Not really sure why, but I just move here, king to g6, and he resigns because in lieu of king takes d3, he's going to get pinned with rook to d8, and he's going to lose his knight. So, tough loss for my opponent, but this is how tournament chess goes, guys. Like it's not always 100% like pure calculation and tactics, although that was a part of especially this last sequence at the end of the game. That's how I ended up winning. But early on in the game, guys, like I was just fighting to survive. Like I was just staying resilient and weathering the storm because my opponent had all the advantage. Like he had a great opening and I played it incorrectly. And only because I played that king g6 move that totally threw him off, he like wasn't able to get back on track. Like I kind of threw a curveball at him and he didn't really know how to hit it. So it threw him off. But there's games like this where like I definitely should have lost this game, but I ended up winning. But there's other games where I totally should have won and I ended up drawing. So I had 2 bad draws in the tournament, but such is life. So kind of weird how things work out. You'll get bad draws in games you should have won, and then you'll get games where you're like, okay, I'm probably going to lose this, but you got to keep fighting. You got to keep doing everything you can, and then a little bit of luck is good, and just my opponent just not playing properly on the attack. So, anyways, guys, I hope this video helps you out in a couple different ways. Psychology being a huge one in this video, and then the tactical sequence at the end, and then just being resilient and knowing how to play defense and just how to defend a position when you're being attacked. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and watch this next puzzle. So these puzzles are a great way to get great tactically at chess and allows you to play fun and exciting chess, to know how to attack, how to defend, and play in sharp positions. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. See you in the next video.